Oh, hey, Rudy, what's up? Uh, yeah, that's no problem. I am just autistically scribbling around here. Uh, and, yeah, I don't know why. I still have, well, I mean, I know why, is that I've literally been doing this for like a week, but, I think I'm getting better with the cubes, but, for some reason the perspective always seems off, and it's probably because I'm just doing it freehand. Alright, sounds good. Yeah, I'm just fucking around here. It's funny because here I'll show. What did I do like 2 days ago? Was this is just on when I was just on my own, or whatever you want to say. I was just doing it on my own. I was fucking around with a bunch of shapes and shading and stuff. or whatever you want to call it, or whatever. I don't know what you call it, shading, I guess. And it came out. Some of them came out pretty good, actually. Uh, I still can't. I still can't seem to get this, even though I looked at some reference spheres and stuff. Horizon and vanishing points. It's boring and tedious, but you'll be able to do with all that after a while. Yeah, I have to actually do less freehand in that in that case if I want to not fuck up the perspectives and shit. But yeah, it came out better. I like the shade. I don't know what you call it, the shading or shadowing effect a lot. Like doing that with the pencil. I think that actually makes like I don't know what would you call it, giving it like kind of a backdrop. But then when I do the actual shadow, some of them are pretty all right. But then the shape itself, still, I think I have to just kind of like erase the inner parts to make it look a little less weird. But then I'm always too lazy to erase. It's funny how heavy-handed you are. Not that it's funny, but that I can see it through your line weight. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's fucking. It's like that. Um. What is it? It's like that perk in Fallout or whatever. Fuck, was it Heavy Handed? I forget what the fuck it was called or some shit Heavy Handed. I don't. It's weird. Like it doesn't feel like I'm putting that much pressure, but uh, it could also just be the fact that I'm not cutting the lead um far enough down or something because it feels like I kind of have to put pressure just because the lead is like not flat enough to the paper. Um, that's just my guess though. Yeah, I mean, fucking, it was weird yesterday when I was drawing. I just did, I just did some practice on my own. It was pretty chill. I was just listening to the rain outside while I was just doing that. But I think after I did that, my fucking like shoulder, there might have been something else, but my shoulder felt like fucking like really crampy. But I think it was like something in my neck. I had a kink, and it made my whole like arm feel like uh kind of discomforting or discomfortable or whatever. Don't be afraid of light lines. You can darken after. Yeah, I wish I could make light lines. It just seems like my it seems like my ability to do it is not as it's harder than I thought it would be to make light lines or whatever. I could do it sometimes, but I think it's also as well. Like I said, the pencil is very not sharpened well for that for light lines, kind of. Just leave it in there. Fuck it. Yeah, for some reason I just don't feel like opening it, but yeah, I do have to probably tomorrow. I don't know if today I'll fuck with the sketch set. Uh, but I will try that for getting lighter shades and stuff. As you said, I do just have to practice hopefully with getting a lighter touch cuz like as you said it's very obvious that I have very dark uh very dark or very hard like pressing or whatever the fuck you call it, making the shading like extra dark. Oh no, it's all right. If as you said, if you don't have somebody that is critiquing your shit, then you're just always going to stay shit to some extent. So you need a little bit of critique to get anywhere. That one came out alright. It's funny with the fucking cubes for whatever reason. Uh when it always feels like I'm missing a the fuck is the term? Feels like I'm always missing a base or something like that when I finish it. But that's just me doing a shitty job and not what do you call it? Not using the horizon lines and stuff, just going freehand. Cubes are kind of fun to do. I found that it was funny. I was trying to do, you know how people can do, like people like make like star shapes, like the generic like what do you call it, like Super Mario Brothers star, whatever the fuck. Like if you try to do that, oh shit, this clipboard. For some reason doesn't want to hold all the time. But if you try to do the Starman shape, like okay, that one came out terrible. But if you try to do it like every part of it, okay, those look awful, but I think you get my point. If you try to make that shape, it just looks fucking terrible. But then it looks a lot better if you just kind of make like the almost like a pentagram. Yeah, like the Star of David. Yeah, I guess okay. I didn't think about that. Star of David is technically not the same because I guess it's three triangles. One, two. Well, I guess that is three triangles. One, two, three, four. Is it three, four? Yeah, I don't know what the like the pentagram star is like. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. It's Masonic imagery. I mean, it's all threes. It's all triangles, so it's fucking obviously there's some power there, you know, the 33 and all that shit. But yeah, trying to do the star like without just kind of doing it like that, it's so fucked up how I don't even know how you're supposed to draw that without it getting fucked up. Two pyramids on top of each other. Yeah, exactly. I like drawing the stars though. I give it that. I like the motion. It's one of those kind of like satisfying emotions or whatever. Like I guess some people would have satisfying kind of strokes or whatever, like the ones that are natural. But I like that motion of making the stupid star. I guess it's similar to the people that make like those stupid fucking on their like the fuck is it the is it a Z shape or that cool S or whatever the hell it is. That stupid cool S that they make. Yeah, I think I almost can envision it. I forget what the fuck. They would draw it on their like folders or whatever the fuck. The cool S. I don't know what the hell what was up with that shit. I was never into doodling on my shit, but I know that I've seen that so many times. The cool S. I still like drawing circles, but I'm kind of learning that, uh, you know, obviously, I don't know the name, but yeah, it's edgy as fuck. I mean, literally edgy. It's many edges. But yeah, I'm sort of learning that it's not so much that you always want to draw or use your shoulder as the primary, like whatever you want to, like the thing of motion, the fulcrum, whatever the fuck. But you know, you want to use it when it makes sense. So like, you know, for bigger shapes and strokes, you use the shoulder. For slightly smaller shapes and strokes, you use the elbow. And then for that, then eventually you use the wrist. And then the smallest details, you use the fingers. Or the little dude with a big nose peeking over a wall. Oh, that one, I think I know what you're talking about. That's like, uh, you get used to which to use and when after. Well, like, I was finding with the ovals, I was having a lot of trouble still with, like, oval shapes if I was using the shoulder. At least for, like, a lot of it, it makes more like a teardrop. But then I generally find I seem to draw ovals a lot more consistently with the, I don't even know. Is that technically the fingers I'm mostly using? I guess maybe a little bit of the fingers and a little bit and a lot of the wrist, possibly. Still, my ovals are still kind of shit. Um, I need to practice more with the fucking body sketch proportions things or whatever. I need a new page. I need a new page. Excuse me. I will eventually run run out of these fucking stupid flyers I made like years back. And I will be using just clean, completely clean printer paper. Play this in my earbuds if you talk about stuff. If you want my attention, just oh yeah, man, no problem. I don't know how long I'll be streaming here or whatever. Uh, Probably another like maybe 30 minutes or some shit, but no big deal, man. And thanks for chatting for the time being. If I need to say something, I will. But I don't know if I will have much to say unless somebody is specifically talking to me. Maybe I'll just ramble about bullshit. So that fucking yeah, I guess I'll ramble about some bullshit. That stop killing games thing. I guess I'm assuming that you probably heard about it. Um, it's been all over. It's been all over the internet the past few weeks. I mean, when it started originally, it was somewhat popular, but then it recently exploded due to that dipshit the fuck is his stupid name? Pirate Software or whatever. Yeah, it's funny because it's like the whole reason the initiative kind of started in the first place was because the that game, The Crew or whatever, what was it? The that driving game, The Crew, being shut down basically and stuff. And then it eventually got turned into like an actual like an attempt to appeal to the legal systems to basically say, these game companies shouldn't be. These game companies should have some end of life uh, plan for all of their games. If they're going to have them in this always online state bullshit, then if they plan on eventually shutting down those games that people already paid for, they should, in this sense, have some legal requirement to have an end of life plan for said game in some way, like whether it be having it so the game is still playable in a single player mode without the online connectivity bullshit, or giving the players or whatever, giving the community, making it somewhat open source to have the server code so that people can emulate on their own systems to basically emulate the multiplayer function to an extent. Like all these different things that they probably really should be doing in a preservation aspect. But a lot of them don't do. And it's especially prevalent nowadays in modern times where like most of these games are having this fucking bullshit systems in place of like, only online or whatever you want to call it, like only online. It has to always be connected and shit. And this initiative was, I guess, not even planned to have like any US involvement at all, because at least the person who started this Stop Killing Games initiative, the guy, he basically said, like, in the U.S., the consumer rights are so terrible, like, as is. Like, it is so in favor of the corporations that it's almost not... there's almost no point at all in trying to push for it in the U.S., so pretty much all of the energy at this point went towards the UK or not the UK, the EU, the European Union shit, because I guess their thing actually has something where you have this initiative sort of thing. It's not necessarily a petition, even though it seems like it. But basically, if you have enough people within the European Union to sign, like over 1 million people, to sign this thing with their real name and everything like that, then I guess Parliament or some shit, whatever the fuck it's called in the EU, the Parliament kind of has to by their like obligations, they have to have some discussion about whatever that thing is. And in this case, they have gotten past the 1 million mark for this initiative. The only potential thing that is going to hold it back is if many of those signatures get what do you call it, invalidated. It's just more appeal to big government. It's crazy how people are willing to give more authority. Oh yeah, I completely agree with you, but I completely agree with you, and it is fucking funny that it's always defaulting back to having Big Daddy government get involved in some way. And I guess that's especially the case with the EU, where it's like fucking the government is like involved in like literally everything. Even though it's the same in the US, but it's like even more mommy government or daddy government in the fucking EU. It's fucked up. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you that I think end of the day, it's just more appeals to government, which in the end is going to... And you know, the people are sort of like, you know, phrasing it like this is the customers fighting back. But then it's like, well, are they really fighting back? Because they're just kind of appealing to Big Daddy government to do whatever for them. And you know, but then I guess then you also have to say, well, besides, you know, being a responsible consumer, or whatever you want to call it, a consumer with self-respect, what can they do to these big corporations? What could they do to fight back besides appeal to the government? And you know, being responsible consumers, the thing you'd think would be, okay, well, just don't buy their shit. But apparently that's too much to ask for most people, is to just not buy something. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I also can agree I can understand the logic, because it is like, well, if you actually do want the gaming industry to go on a certain type of path, then you would say, like, okay, what can we do besides just not buy those games? Because obviously these publishers and these game companies are just going to keep doing what they're doing, because the majority of people are just consumers. You know, they're just sheep consumers that will consume any slop that gets thrown at them. So it's like, well, nothing's going to change there, people feel. So they're like, okay, well, let's appeal to the government, kind of shit. So while I'm obviously not against the whole initiative, as you said, Rudy, I think, if anything, somebody did say in a comment, if this thing gets through and then something actually gets like done or whatever, how is this going to be used by the government to actually make it worse in the end? How is this going to be used against the consumer in the end, in the most ironic but probably obvious faction? Is how is this going to fuck over the consumer somehow more than it already is with this initiative? Um, and yeah, that's essentially the stop killing game shit. They've had, that's the thing that's funny, is that you kind of know that this is something that is being pushed by the system in the end, or trying to be pushed by it, because this initiative had almost no chance of passing just a few weeks ago, because it needed a million signatures, and it only had like, it only got up to like, in a few months, it had like 6 months or some shit to do it, and it only had, within those like 5 or 4 months, it only got like 350,000, which is like, nothing compared to what it still needed. But then it got kind of like, drama got brought into it, and then that's what has pushed it above and beyond past a million now, the past like few weeks, is the fact that this drama has basically made it so people that didn't really give a shit before started to give a shit, because they basically wanted to give a middle finger to the guy that was causing the drama primarily, that being this Pirate Software idiot. So like, because of his intervention and because of his drama, it's actually gone past the threshold in a way. Like, it's not even because people really seem to give a shit enough, because they didn't sign it beforehand, but when the drama got brought in, and a sort of like a good and a bad side, a good guy and a bad guy got brought in, like, into the mix, that's when people started to give it more heed and more attention, for, I say for whatever reason, but that's just how these fucking people work, is that they have to have a good and a bad guy to root for, basically. So they're like, see, we're fighting against the man, this fucking asshole. He's like the corpo bug man. So they're fighting against him. Yeah, it's just a fucking, like, while I obviously give the whole thing some amount of, not so much credence, but I'm for the idea of, stop having this no end of life plan bullshit that these companies try to do. At the same time, I don't really care, really, because almost all those games that are doing that, I have no interest in at all. Yeah, that's kind of crazy considering how many people bought the Switch 2. I mean, yeah, really, like, that's what the fucking people keep saying, that are like, oh man, how can Nintendo keep getting away with this kind of shit or whatever? And it's like, well, fucking the people don't give a fuck, apparently, because they keep fucking buying the goddamn console. They keep buying from the fucking company. So, it's like, at the end of the day, the people that care are in the vast minority at the end of the day. So it's like, hey, if this is what the normies want, this is what the normies will get. The people that want their products to not be, to not just be constantly fucking them, they are in the minority. So it's like, hey. But that's why I feel like my strategy, quote unquote strategy, is kind of the best approach in a way, is I just stopped giving a fuck. I stopped, a long time ago, I stopped giving a shit about the mainstream game industry or whatever. Like, even the indies, I kind of like don't have that much faith in after seeing them act like the petulant children that many of them act like. So it's like, hey guys, if you want the game industry to stop sucking, well, it's kind of that idea of the only winning move is to not play. In this case, that's how I kind of feel, and I'm like, hey, maybe that's one of the reasons that I just have had much less interest overall in like actually playing video games. I'm sure that's not the only reason, but that's probably a pretty big part of it. Um, so while I think it's cool that people are trying to fight against the corpos, I think end of the day, us that know how this reality works and the not milk, the adversary or the antagonistic forces realize that this is exactly playing into exactly what is intended to happen. Let's just say that, I guess. And there will be no massive what do you call it, renaissance of all of a sudden renaissance of games being owned by the people again or some bullshit like that. Games, the product being owned by the people. Like, I mean, you can even see this outside of the game industry. And I know that's what they had other stuff like the right to repair movement and shit like that. This is not just the game industry, people. This is every consumer industry. Every single one is doing the exact same fucking shit. And you know what the direction is? The exact same for every single fucking one. Like, you are still not, more and more phones. I think almost every phone now, every modern smartphone, no longer has a readily removable battery. That's like just one of the examples. Like, more and more appliances, more and more shit are purposely made to not be serviceable. Overall, it hurts online games because companies will have less incentive to create them when they'll have to have an exit plan that'll cost more than ongoing development. Yeah, you're probably right. But at the same time, for me, I guess I'm in that kind of group where I'm just like, I don't really give a fuck because there's been so little that I've given a shit about like multiplayer games in the longest time. The only time I gave a fuck about multiplayer games was recently when I was playing on that fucking private server, that hardcore WoW private server, whatever. And then before that was like a decade or more ago when I still played like stuff with my previous group of friends, like Halo Reach on the Xbox, or when I was playing like League of Legends and shit with them, or whatever, Smite and all that crap. But then after that point, I just stopped giving a fuck at all about these multiplayer focused games. So like, I'm just like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. If they want to make less multiplayer games, fuck it. But that's just me. Even though multiplayer games, they're cool. It's just I'm just like, man, I could not give a fuck about modern multiplayer games nowadays. Let's say like fucking League of Legends, that was like my last fucking straw of like the multiplayer experience. I was like, man, this is just fucking toxic bullshit. People acting like complete fucking scumbags, subhumans to one another. And now the modern multiplayer is like going on social media and just talking shit to other people, supposedly other people. In that case, it's actually more single player because a lot of them are just fucking AI anyway, bots anyway. Some literally and others some literally and some figuratively. I'm getting a little bit better with the how to press lightly, kind of. As always, it'll probably hurt smaller dev teams because big corporations can absorb the cost. Everyone who thinks this is a good idea have a fantasy in their head that they're sticking it to the man. Yeah, I mean, that once again, that's like the only reason that it was even getting like any traction recently was because now people are feeling, oh man, I'm sticking it. they're as if they're spitting in the face of that pirate software directly by supporting it now. Beforehand, most of these over 1 million people didn't give a fuck. Startup companies, but it's all on purpose. Yeah, I think the as it usually is the deep what would you call it? The deep end game here is going to be worse for the their it's going to be worse for the people that think it's going to be actually good for them in the end here. um but yeah, I mean it is funny, like I can't even consider myself like a gamer anymore, as weird as that might sound. Like I have like almost no I enjoy the game in I enjoy games, but I almost have like no more investment at all in like especially the mainstream game industry like at all anymore. So I can almost barely not even identify quote unquote as a gamer at this point. Like I probably play less I probably play less games just per hour for like in a week at this point than people that I would consider that would never consider themselves a gamer years back or whatever. Like what I do now is I listen to like YouTube. Recently, I've been doing the drawing stuff for like an hour a day. I wish I more recently was doing more coding and stuff, but I just have not felt like it. I fucking baking and stuff whenever I cooking, whenever that kind of comes up. I mean, even today I was like, that's like what isn't that? It just seems so sad to me that like there was things that I used to get excited for, like doing like playing games and shit, but now it almost feels like half the time it feels like a chore to even just like start up a game. Whereas for whatever, I mean, it's not weird for whatever reason, but hey, the ultimate gamer move was beating Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Uh, well, like it's so fucked up that I used to get excited for games and stuff, and like thinking about playing games and shit. Now I get more excited, like significantly more excited, thinking about what is the next thing that I plan on like cooking or baking or whatever, and like looking up recipes and like planning like what things I'll need for that and stuff, and like taking pictures of the recipe so I could use it. Um, in the next few days or some shit like that. I've gotten more excited about that than any game has gotten me like fucking in like years, which is like so fucking weird. And I have gotten excited thinking about like working on mods and stuff, like working on my mod ideas and shit. But then when I actually like think about the work that I'll have to put in, like the coding work and shit, then it kind of like sucks a lot of the motivation away. I'm like, oh god, like the oh fuck. Um, but I still get excited for that. But it's not even like thinking of being excited playing like something like Daggerfall, the game that I'm like I'd be modding. Just the actual creation of that stuff is what I get kind of excited thinking about, I guess. Not even so much playing it at this point. But I guess it makes sense with that because Daggerfall, as I've said before, as I've described it, is more of a it's more of a canvas to me than it is anything. It's more of a canvas that I think of drawing on and putting something on than I do playing it. Even though I do enjoy it, like if I went out of my way to get a bunch of mods again and set up a bunch of mods and played it for a few days, I would be having a pretty good time. But after that, I would be like, all right, either I have to start a new character or some shit or whatever. Or I feel like modding it or whatever more than playing it. Um, but I guess at the end of the day, I'm almost speaking of it like it's a bad thing, and it's really not. I mean, I'm just kind of I'm becoming more of a creator now than I am a consumer, I guess. At least if I want to think about it that way. which I think even okay, maybe not the normies, but I think most outside of the normies would probably say that's a better thing to be a creator than a consumer. But I still want to do mods and shit. It's just I like this is what I like about the drawing is that it is very low commitment. You can just kind of like doodle around and shit. Whereas with coding, um, it's one of those things that you kind of have to get into a groove of it, and usually it'll suck you in for at least a few hours once you get a groove, once you get momentum going. But with drawing, it is very low commitment. Like, you could just draw for, like, fucking 10, 20 minutes without much, like, thought or anything like that. And it's not a big deal to just put down the fucking paper and shit. Pretty low bar of entry. Yeah, I mean, like, you got a drawing tool. I mean, shit. You know, I'm sure that you remember that, like, thing from fucking decades ago, the period blood Mega Man, whatever the fuck it was, like some chick fucking drew like Mega Man in like supposedly her using her period blood or some shit. Like, as long as you got something to draw on, some kind of thing to draw on, you can pretty much do anything. Like the lowest entry possible. I mean, shit. If I wanted to, those I could go find those berries. I forget what they're called. They're like they look like blueberries, but they're actually like poisonous if you eat them. Fuck. I forget what the fuck the name is. Uh, but yeah, like the people supposedly crush them into a dye or whatever. Like you just fucking crush some berries and make a dye, and then fucking use that on something. Oh, you never heard of that? Look up if you get the chance, look up like fucking period blood Mega Man or some shit. And it'll just be like some I don't know where the fuck I'll change my camera view, but I don't know where the fuck I remember seeing that or whatever, like where what part of the internet that was from, but I just remember that on the old internet. Let's see, period blood Mega Man. And who knows, maybe it's probably just a fucking lie or some dumb shit, but this drawing came from somebody's minge. Yeah, this oh, come on. This supposed fucking Mega Man fan art thing was like I don't know if this is on 4chan or what, but supposedly some chick used her period blood to paint this fucking thing, this Mega Man art. I mean, I guess I could kind of see it more. There's like little splotches of like blood looking shit on parts of it. So yeah, it is actually pretty good. But yeah, supposedly it's not fucking like paint, but supposedly period. You know, who knows? Who knows if they were fucking around or not? Uh, what? But I don't know why I remember fucking that. Like maybe that was posted on some fucking shit. Uh, Maybe that was posted on some shit and what is it? Damn it. Maybe that was posted on somewhere and then that was just something, yeah. Man, I bet that reeks. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be pretty disgusting smelling. Ugh, God. No, yeah, no, good thing as people say their smell-o-vision does not exist or whatever. Man, is that fucking stream that delayed or whatever? Like I'm seeing God damn. I'm seeing like something I just showed like 2 minutes ago show up on the stream shit. God damn, that is fucking crazy delayed. But maybe my voice isn't delayed, but the image certainly is. Yeah, why the hell did I bring that up? But oh yeah, that was just the fact that the entry the bar of entry for drawing is so minimal. And it's not that it's hard to like get started in well, okay, it kind of is. Like there is a lot of stuff that you have to do to even get into that, but me as somebody who already has the shit set up, it's just it's not once I get started with coding and stuff, like I get into that kind of mindset after like maybe 20 minutes of just starting it. I get into that mindset of like, okay, now I'm in like problem solving mode or like puzzle kind of mode, and then I start having fun in that way. Um, but it is definitely it definitely takes longer to get into that mode where it starts feeling kind of fun, and then you just get into a little bit of a flow going on and shit. Um, but then it also sucks. Like I guess with drawing you get rusty too. Like anything you get rusty. But with coding, it can be the similar thing where you kind of have to just spend like 20 minutes after you haven't done it in a while and just be like, where the fuck did I leave off? What was I doing? And just figure out where the hell you need to start from there, pretty much. And that can be a pretty big barrier. Is just getting through that shit. But with drawing, you know, you can just kind of just scribble around and feel like a little bit less rusty in that way, I suppose. But that's probably not true. Once you start, that's probably not entirely true. Once you start, what do you call it? Once you start getting pretty good, it probably takes quite a while to get to unrust certain things, certain aspects. Yeah, I need to look up more of that, as you said, with the horizon line shit, so I could actually hopefully start getting more consistent shapes and stuff. Maybe even use a ruler here and there. Visual library. Haven't looked at enough porn, huh? Haven't been looking at enough porn to keep your visual library up to date. The ultimate visual library for is to comb more, is to comb more. That's to keep your visual library sharp. That would be an amazing excuse from some artist. Is like, yeah, I just need to jerk off more. Need to look at more porn. Like when I looked at a reference to for a sphere or whatever, like how you're supposed to shade a sphere realistically or whatever, has been off for over 2 years. Yeah. I could see that, yeah, that getting pretty rusty, obviously. But like when I was looking at like a reference to draw a sphere or whatever, at least you know draw one like to look 3D and shit. I really had no idea. Like I never thought about it. I guess like a how a sphere or like a spherical object, how the light goes around it or whatever, how light goes around it. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like there's a fucking area even behind it that supposedly has like reflections of the light or something. So there's like a lighter section on the back where you think that the shadow would be the darkest, but that's apparently not how it works or something. I guess I could see it by just finding a ball and then shining a light on it, probably. But yeah, like I would kind of intuitively, I would never have thought that's how the light worked around like a sphere, kind of, unless I saw an image like that. I still do not really know how to shade it properly. Um, but I think I did. It's funny how, yeah, the surface is reflecting. Yeah, it's just hard to like. It makes sense that you know the light bounces off other stuff and reflects onto it, so there's like it's not totally dark. Um, but what happened there? Oh, no. This binder, well, not binder. This clipboard has a little has a little rough spot on it. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, I definitely need to practice more with stuff like that, like the shadowing. Um, just the how the shadows work. As you say, in that sense, I have to enhance or whatever. I have to broaden my visual library because I didn't really think of that. I was like, oh, that's how shadows work, or that's how the lights work on this thing. I didn't think that. But then again, even though I want to get better at that, because I think it is fun to draw shapes like this and shit. It's like probably my end goal doesn't really like that fact probably doesn't matter where it touches another surface. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense where it's touching another surface. But then it is fucking weird to think like with the orb, it's like, oh yeah, the reflections on certain parts of it and shit. But I think most people probably wouldn't even bat an eye if their artistic aptitude wasn't that high. Like if you like I'm saying, if you showed them, I guess that's not really saying much. It's not hard to please the eye of a normie. But if you showed them something that didn't have proper shading, they probably wouldn't even notice, or they probably wouldn't even realize. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, that looks good." They wouldn't even realize like, "Oh yeah, the shadow is fucked up or some shit." But yeah, that's not a high bar to pass to impress the normies. You can impress them with the stupid the cool S thing. What the hell was I saying? But yeah, I definitely do need to broaden my. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Is like, I don't think for like what my kind of end goal is for probably the more than likely stuff that I will usually be drawing or plan on drawing. Which would probably be more like cartoony kind of stuff, most likely, more than likely, not like super realistic shit. But in that case, it probably won't really matter being able to shade stuff properly or realistically at the end of the day. Like, I've seen so many artists that draw in a more cartoony style and they don't have, like, any use of, like, shadows, or at least very little use of, like, shadows and proper shading and shit. So it probably really doesn't matter. It's just kind of something that I guess there to enhance visual and artistic library more than potentially be useful for my end goals. That's why when I was drawing those boxes, I showed how easy to just show light and dark is enough to trick the eye. Yeah. And it is fucking crazy when you start drawing, and as you said, like, it is literally just all a fucking illusion. Like, it is just all an illusion. Because you could draw, like, a square, and then you just draw, like, a few lines, not intersecting it, but, like, in a certain way, and then it just makes it look like a cube that's a 3D, but it's not. Like, it's nothing. It is literally just a two-dimensional thing. The more you pick up on shortcuts, yeah. I need to draw an apple. I need to draw an apple. Not right this second, but for some reason that's something I want to draw, is an apple, because I like apples so much. And I'm like, that would be cool to both study spheres as well as just an apple. And different types of apples that have different shapes and shades, different shades and stuff. Like, they're not just all matte red. Got stuff like the Fuji apple that has like hints of green here and there, or like yellowish green with the red, lighter kind of red and shit. I always wondered that, actually. Is that people, I think people, they use it without even realizing, or like caring about the actual, I know that people do this all the time anyway, the actual like proper terminology of shit. But I've seen stuff posted on like Reddit where people will draw, like, usually on like that pixel art subreddit. Yeah, apples I think are probably a pretty good thing to study in that sense, but on that pixel art subreddit, people sometimes will post stuff where they just post, they'll say one, they'll call it 1 bit or something, or they'll call it like a 1 bit drawing of something, which in that case really seems to just be using black and white. But I'm just like, how is that 1 bit? I guess it really probably is just improper fucking terminology, but like, just call it black and white. Um, Unless you're literally using no other shade but black and white, like you literally have either FFF or FFFF, whatever, 255, like complete black, and white 000 or whatever. Unless you're doing that, to me, I would say, like, that's not really 1 bit, or like, what, I would say that's not really 1 bit. You're just using black and white to an extent. I don't know. Just a weird ramble on that, but I was just like, yeah, what the fuck are these people talking about? Like, one bit, like, just because it's black and white doesn't mean it's 1 bit. Like, those cubes look kind of fucked up. Kind of fucked up. But yeah, I'll have to practice more or study more with that on the actual use of cubes and shit. Or using horizon lines, like you said. As well as drawing shapes in a more skewed way. Like, I can draw a square, but I have trouble drawing these kind of like rectangles that are like askew, which, at least from some of the pictures I've seen of like the 3D cubes, they seem to have to make it that the initial face kind of askew, otherwise it like doesn't look the right perspective or something. But I need to practice more on drawing like like um not squares or whatever, I guess. Didn't stop, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, hey, just like me with the playing games and shit, like, if all of a sudden you just don't feel like doing it anymore, it's kind of impossible to just like try and, I mean, you can force yourself. Like, I know there is many people that force themselves to do like play games even if they don't want to, kind of shit. But um but like, yeah, if you just can't muster the motivation to do it, it's like, what can you fucking do? What was that thing about stop grinding? Oh, what the fuck? Oh, what was it? Oh yeah, it was the Dragon Ball thing. It was the Dragon Ball thing with Goku basically talking about, or not Goku talking about, but Goku emphasizing the importance of like rest and shit, which I guess isn't the same as what we're talking about here. It's not really grinding, but forcing yourself to do something you don't really feel like doing. And with you, it was, oh man, fucking, I was gonna make a video about that, but I just said fuck it. There was this fucking video that I watched yesterday that was like, it was basically this guy talking about like 12, oh, it was like 12 toxic things you use in conversation, um, that are making people like you less, or some shit like that. Basically, like 12 things that people do in a conversation that are toxic. And like one of them was, oh fuck, what was it? I think all of them I was kind of thinking about. I was like, wait a minute. So if this is supposedly all toxic, so you're not even able to like have a conversation at all where you push back at all against the other person's beliefs potentially. You just have to be like a fucking little puppy, like not a little puppy. You just have to be like a little passive fucking listener or some fucking bullshit the whole time. I was like, this is fucking dumb. This is fucking dumb advice. This is dumb labeling like all this as fucking toxic supposedly. Like, you can understand where it would come from, the potential toxicity, but at the same time, then you just kind of have no flavor at all. Like, every conversation would just become this like fucking how's your day going kind of bullshit, Or, you know, I'm listening to you. I have your back. Don't worry. Fucking bullshit. God damn it. What was my point that I was gonna have because that I brought that up? Fuck. Oh yeah, maybe the motivation thing. Oh no, wait, the maybe the Goku thing. I was saying the Goku not grinding. Um fuck. Yeah, I forgot what I forgot what the fuck my point was to make with that video. But yeah, that video was fucking stupid. That was like some normie fucking psychology bullshit. Oh yeah, that's what it was. God damn it, now I remember. I mentioned in that one video I made when I was walking a few days ago. I mentioned like to you, Rudy. I was like, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm psychoanalyzing you, or I don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't want to. I don't want to be psychoanalyzing or whatever. Who would say that as a? Yeah, I know. Really, it was a dude, but it was like the most fucking woman fucking bullshit advice, like lie nonsense you could fucking ever imagine. And I'm glad a lot of there was a good amount of comments that were basically saying like, man, this would be the most boring fucking conversations ever if this is how everyone if this is how every conversation that's not toxic has to be. Um but yeah, I was saying I didn't want to seem like I was psychoanalyzing you, and he mentioned in that video he was like you know, psychoanalyzing people basically. That's toxic. Um, and yeah, I guess it's probably is toxic to most people to like just in a conversation with the person literally there, basically saying like, "Hey man, I think this is the reason that you fucking hate your parents, or I think this is the reason that you're a that you're a dickhead is because your dad touched you or some shit." Um, but like, I just found that funny because I mentioned that I didn't want to psychoanalyze you or whatever. But it's not that I was really, and I know you don't feel that way. But like, if I was justifying that, I'm like, it's not like I was psychoanalyzing you to be a dick. It was just an observation that I kind of noticed, and I was like, you know, I wonder if this has something to do with this. I wonder if this correlation has this causation or some shit. Um, that was my reason for. Basically always my reason. That's basically always my reason for psychoanalyzing somebody is to try and better understand potentially, or just the curiosity of the fact. Like, I wonder if this is the reason this person is like this. Like Billy mentioned in his most recent video, he mentioned with the being averse to smoking, or you know, smoking weed, doing the drugs and shit like that. I was thinking the same thing when he brought that up. I was thinking, huh. I mean, I guess it's not that like revolutionary of a concept, but I was like, this is probably why, as well for me, that I am so averse to gambling and like games that have like heavy emphasis on gambling, like the gotcha shit. I mean, there's so many other reasons to dislike those games too, but the whole idea of like the gotcha shit or loot boxes or just other legit just gambling stuff, monetization in these games, or just gambling in general, like how I'm so averse to it is like because my parents, they are so financially screwed up in so many ways because of their gambling addictions. So that's me being sort of like Billy, where it's like that's why I don't. That's partially why I don't like the alcohol or the drugs that much either. Is because my mom's side of the family was so fucked up by alcoholism and drug use. I mean, it was they did that as a cope for their other problems that they had, but that was their main cope. And one of the big things that destroyed most of them at the end of the day was that their addiction to alcohol and drugs and using that as their escape and shit. But that's what I view with my parents too, with the fucking gambling. Is yeah, that's like that's one of the biggest reasons that I'm so averse to gambling, besides all the other obvious things, is that, yeah, my fucking parents, they fucked themselves because of their gambling addiction. So I'm like, I completely dislike gambling because of that. What's funny that I spent a lot of time psychoanalyzing myself. Yeah, I mean, if you want to understand yourself, you kind of have to, in a way. You have to you have to find the root cause of shit. I mean, that was always the thing. That was um when was that term used? I'm trying to remember. The root cause. Oh, that was it. In Amazon. When I worked at fucking Amazon, in our work orders, when we had to like log basically like everything we did that day, all of this stuff, like how many, what you did, on what, for what reason, and how long it took. And you had to also enter in something, root cause. It was like, what was the root cause of whatever the problem was that caused that thing to be a problem in the first place? What was the root cause? And you had to write that down. You know, if you had one, I guess. But that was a thing. That was a term that I used or learned, was like, oh yeah, root cause. What's the root cause? And that's what we do when we're trying to psychoanalyze others as well as ourselves, is figure out the root cause of whatever is causing some distress or problem in our life at that moment, or just in general, like, you know, when it caused the problem in their life, uh, before that and during it and currently or whatever. You're trying to find the root cause. And in a lot of cases, you just kind of have to psychoanalyze the person or yourself to find the root cause. And most of it comes down to some kind of trauma within their life from their family or whatever. But, you know, most people are not honest enough with others nor themselves to admit any of that and take some self-responsibility and say, like, man, so most of this comes down to me not being able to get over the fact that my parents were shit or something. Or my parents fucked me up, or my parents broke up and got divorced, or whatever. Or my mother was too overbearing or something. Whatever. In the case of Karina, all I told her was to talk to her dad. She psychoanalyzed herself after it. Yeah. I mean, shit, when your entire childhood and like every problem you've been told by your fucked up mother was blamed on one person, and then you only realize later that that person the entire time was lying to you. So your entire fucking upbringing, entire everything was a lie from the fucking get-go, and the person that you were told to, you know, love the most was actually the one that was being the most fucked up to you. That could be a pretty eye-opening experience, to say the least. Now, I mean, I guess that's part of that is when I realized, like, you know, I would say both my parents were the cause of so many of their own problems, as well as some of my problems as well, obviously. Yeah, that shattered her world. I mean, I guess in a corny way, like, you have to break down the old to build new. You have to tear down the old house to build the new house on the new foundation. Because if you didn't shatter her old world, if you don't deprogram yourself from the old times, then you'll just be stuck with that, or you'll be trying to cobble together something on a fucking fucked up foundation instead of just building new. And I hope for her sake she's still probably doing better than she was from the get go. Speaking of that, I don't know why. Since you mentioned the lady Karina, I have to sharpen my pencil again. Since you mentioned Karina and how she was, like, for a while she was identified as a lesbian and shit. Um, did you watch that? Excuse me. Those 3 videos that Danny released recently, talking about the what did he call them? The sodomite demons, the sodomite demons, or the sodomite demons or whatever. It was in total like 40 minutes because it was 3 parts that he had talking about it. I haven't. Yeah, it's an interesting listen. Basically, he's talking about his own experiences with, like, I guess a lot of it coming from a lot of it coming from, say, like the probably more like the Middle Eastern or like Muslim kind of religions and stuff, as well as the Christianity and shit, where, stuff like they practice shit like circumcision, male circumcision and shit. What he considers some of the most like perverted, fucked up acts. Uh, and basically saying that you got these guys that he feels like they're like, probably what Matt would say, like minions or not milk of the system kind of shit, trying to pretend that they're like not what they are, but then just being like the most fucked up individuals at the end of the day kind of shit. It's kind of hard to describe. Like if you listen to it, it makes more sense. Christianity pushes homosexuality now, probably. Jesus. Oh man. But I guess like I get basically the entire mainstream Christianity, yeah. I get the entire thing that he was basically getting at by the end of the little the 40 minutes of what he was talking about and shit. And how he'd had experiences with like gay guys that were like really cool and shit, really caring people and everything like that, like not these kind of demons he describes where like they get married. They get married even though they get married to a woman even though they deep down they are gay, I guess. But they just get married for the face, the face of it or whatever. It's the idea of you're okay the way you are type of thing. When clearly that's not. Yeah, it's. I understand what Danny's was saying from the video, but at the same time, like, I was thinking about it because I literally just made that statement a few like videos back. Something about like how I don't think being gay is something that comes naturally at all. I think it is. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Like, but I don't think so. Like from what it does not seem like it ever seems to come naturally. Like I think it all kind of stems down from at some point that person being traumatized by something, and that's what makes them think that they are gay or whatever, or think that they are attracted to the same sex, I guess. But there's always outliers in every way, so I'm sure there is cases where it is true and it's not. And at the end of the day, does it really matter to me if somebody's gay or not? No. It's just something I observed from all the people that I had interactions with that I either found out or knew that they were gay. Is that it seemed like they always had some fucking trauma that caused them to be that way in some way, in some way or whatever. I mean, it's ironic because it was I think I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this before, but it was probably a long time ago in one of my videos. But I think at least 2, possibly 3 times, was when I had some dude that was basically hitting on me to some extent, or was like attracted to me in some way, or at the very least told me that they felt that I was attractive or some shit like that. But that's never happened ever with a woman, just like out of the blue kind of shit or something like that. Which might just be a factor of how women do not
they are less likely to outright tell people stuff like that, be honest like that. Or I don't know. I don't know what my observation is there, but that was three times, three times. I think three times, but possibly just two. I had like one guy who was straight up like I was so oblivious back then, I guess, because I didn't even realize. I was like, oh wait, this guy, he's fucking he wants me to start dating him or whatever. Like he's attracted to me and he wants me to start going out with him, kind of shit. And then I think the other one was just kind of an offhanded comment, but yeah, just kind of a weird observation. There's no social pressure for women to be forward with men. Yeah, you're right. Um, you're right. So it's like the only time that you ever see that pretty much is like with fucking dudes asking other dudes out or dudes asking women out because, as you said, the women, they have no reason to do that. In most cases it just comes right to the man comes right to them. The men come right to them. So they have no reason to fucking be forward or anything like that. Um, which, you know, and it's funny with all the media, they say, oh yeah, you know, like the women, they give signs that they're attracted to a guy and some like subtle signs and bullshit like that. I've only been hit on twice working here, and I gave them the cold shoulder both times. It was hilarious. Were they dudes or were they women? In your case, I'm curious. It sounds like what you're saying is women. Um, that's pretty fucking funny though. My pencil is now sharpened enough, I think. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, especially like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel. You know what? Actually, oh no, wait, no. I was thinking, yeah. And you know what? I heard that that's actually, I think that was like a fucking joke on like either one of these shitcoms or something. Maybe even Everybody Loves Raymond. I forget. Um, that these women are actually more likely to try and like have they're more likely to go after these dudes that already have like a wedding band on or some shit because it's almost like a fucked up like it's almost like a fucked up power thing or whatever. Like, see if I can get this guy who's married, or like see if they can see if they're like they have enough um if they have enough sway to get this guy to cheat on their wife or some fucking bullshit like that. Like it's some fucked up power thing. So if you, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't have the wedding ring on, that they actually wouldn't have said anything, kind of shit. Who fucking knows? Some of these fucking women are twisted as fuck, man. That was something I remember hearing on like stupid as a joke on like Everybody Loves Raymond or some bullshit. Yeah, but when that one guy, he basically almost asked me out. Like, what did he say? He said, I mean, I feel bad for these guys that are like gay in a way because they have to act so um they have to act so like non-genuine, or they have to be so like they have to skirt around it so much to make sure that the other person like is, if they're gay or not, and they have to like they can't just be forward about it. They think, I guess they can't be forward about it because they feel like they'll be persecuted for it, I guess. So like the guy, it took him so long to like say anything to me. Like he mentioned something like, it was like his way of breaking the ice in that question was like, and we'd been going on like the same bus route like for a few weeks at this point, and he would just talk to me and shit, and I was just so oblivious. I figured he was just just friendly talk and stuff, but apparently no, he was crushing on me or whatever the fuck. And then he eventually asked me, he was like, I'm going to a pride parade or some stuff. He's like, would you want to go or whatever? And then I was like, then I realized like a fucking truck hit me. I was like, oh god, I didn't even realize this dude was fucking, he was crushing on me this whole fucking time. And I just told him, I was like, oh man, yeah, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm not gay. And then we basically stopped like talking after that. But it's funny, like I felt fucking bad, dude. I felt bad. I know it sounds stupid, like, but I felt rejecting somebody felt way worse than being rejected. That's what I'll say. And I don't think that women seem to even like maybe even have this in their own mind, but maybe I'm wrong. But like rejecting somebody else that was crushing on me felt so much worse than if I was being rejected by somebody else. Yeah, I felt bad because I didn't even fucking realize. Like, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, oh shit. He was fucking. He was trying to. He was trying to fucking. To go on a date with me or some bullshit or whatever. Like, he was crushing on me, and I was like, oh wow. I'm like, man, I'm not gay. And and yeah, it just felt bad rejecting somebody. And I've been rejected a few other times when I was younger. And yeah, it feels bad, but it felt way worse rejecting somebody else than it did being rejected. I'll say that. And, he was a nice enough dude. At least in those circumstances. I don't know how he was like outside of that, but he was a nice enough dude. I did feel bad after that. Um, so much so that I remember it to this day. Ironically, a gay guy advancing on me at least that time, and then some other time it was just a guy kind of saying he was like thought I was attractive or some shit. And possibly a third time. That's the only times I've had any advances like that or whatever. Kind of funny. But as you said, it's just women have no reason to actually be forward with the how they feel and shit. So it's almost always going to be the dudes in those situations that are saying something. I don't know what I want to trying to draw these bodies more, but I'm so fucking. It's the fucking little joints that fuck me up for whatever reason. The joints in between, it looks fucking terrible. As well as the body. Oh my god, the body section and the fucking. Yeah, I'm fucking. It's funny. I feel like I'm actually getting worse at drawing certain things. Like certain things I'm getting better at, but then other things I'm getting worse. I guess in this case, if I wanted to draw like a really you know perfect thing, I would just erase and then retry and shit. But when you're not retrying, it's be fairly difficult. The fucking Vector Man's all over. God damn. It's fucking proportions. Uh, I think it's a lot about my stroke. Is that my circles with my fingers are fairly weak for whatever reason, but my circles when I use my elbow are fairly accurate, kind of. But like any smaller circles or ovals, they start to look really fucked up. I like this practice though. Where you make like just a line of bigger and bigger
shapes. I think that one's not bad, but usually I don't
Have a reason to.
draw that big of a fucking circle or oval. And my past two drawing sessions, I feel like I've been regressing almost. Funny enough. At least it's funny that like the one day I actually drew better, just like when I was doing that shadows and shit. I drew better that one day, but then the days after I was just drawing worse, which I guess is everything. You're not necessarily gonna be at your top performance every time you do something. That's just any skill, but it is funny to see. Uh, do a little bit of shading, I guess. I really need to practice more with the human bodies and proportions and shit, but my fucking circles and my ovals suck. I think your eye is getting better, but your art skill isn't. It'll catch up. Yeah. Fuck. Fucking the. I look at some of those body images or whatever the sketches or whatever the fuck for like bodies, and I'm just like, God damn, I don't know how these people get the proportions so nice. But then again, I guess a lot of them probably aren't just freehanding when they do some of those. I should also practice with the pen a bit more. When your eye is ahead, it's going to seem like you're getting worse. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The more reference material you look at, the worse you get. The worse your perception of yourself gets, the more reference material you look at, because it's like, wow. So that's how a circle works. Well, my circles suck, so that's... Then you have to get better, otherwise you'll just be like, well... And I think, I don't know, it seems like every person, probably since you're now seeing other art and watching demonstrations, the bar gets raised. Yeah, definitely. I wonder if that's like every person's preferred angle or whatever for their stroke or whatever is like a 45-degree angle kind of shit, because that kind of seems to be a general pattern, is like a 45-degree angle is like kind of natural arm movement or whatever. And I still need to learn to have a lighter touch. One thing with the lighter touch is that seems like when I'm going lighter, my strokes get smaller. So like if I want to make like a consistent like I don't know what you call it, like a consistent bar of like a shade, it seems to be hard to keep it light, keep my touch light while still keeping that same size or whatever, that same width. I do like doing that though. I don't know why I find the motion and the result of shading with the pencil satisfying. I just like how it looks, where it's like just this like fucking look. I don't know. It's like almost like somewhat squiggly kind of look going on. Kind of like drawing the star shapes. It's kind of satisfying to do for no real reason. It just is. You should watch
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna look up that episode. I'm gonna look up what it is. I know you said you weren't a fan of SpongeBob, but there's a episode that is pretty good for this kind of discussion or whatever. Let's see what the hell it was called. SpongeBob episodes. Excuse me. SpongeBob episode Squidward art teacher. So I guess Squidward starts in art class, and he finds out that he finds out that he's actually comparatively terrible at art or whatever. Compared to, for whatever reason, SpongeBob is really good at art or some shit. The fuck, yeah. What episode? Artist Unknown, is that the episode? I think it is. Wow, yeah, it was from season 2, so it was definitely it was within the seasons that SpongeBob was actually still pretty good. Um, Kind of funny because SpongeBob was like especially, he acted a little bit more obnoxious than he did in this one in a way, but I guess he always kind of did to some extent, but in this one it was a little bit exaggerated. Yeah, so what was this? Yeah, that's the episode. It is called Artist Unknown, Season 2 of SpongeBob. And Squidward teaches a art class, and he finds out that he is way shittier at art than SpongeBob is. What was the end? Was there any end message in that? Squidward is teaching an art class in an adult learning center. Eager to see his new students, he opens the doors and greets a whole crowd of people who are actually looking for the cooking class. They depart, leaving behind only one pupil. So SpongeBob was literally the only one interested in the art class. That's fucking funny. See, fucking early SpongeBob, fucking early seasons of SpongeBob was fucking funny, man. Like, just reading that, yeah, I remember that. That was fucking a funny punchline or whatever. Squidward begrudgingly starts to teach SpongeBob what he knows. He starts off by demonstrating a poorly drawn circle on the blackboard and has SpongeBob copy it, but is shocked when SpongeBob draws a perfect circle. He demands SpongeBob shows him how he did it, so SpongeBob effortlessly draws a realistic human head, erasing the details and leaving a perfect circle behind. Paper and crumples it up, while SpongeBob then turns it into an origami sculpture of himself and Squidward playing leapfrog. Squidward rips it apart, forms the scraps in the picture of them continuing their game. Squidward then attempts to show off his prowess with the chisel, creating a mere pile. Oh yeah, he starts showing him sculpture, chisel art or whatever. But then SpongeBob makes a like perfect, whatever the fuck you call it, like Michelangelo marble sculpture. Scoffs at SpongeBob, refuses to acknowledge his talent, and question his teacher's judgment. That's where that meme is from. Which meme? Which meme in this case? Maybe maybe the circle one, possibly. Possibly the circle. I mean, there's so many fucking SpongeBob, just like this, just like the Simpsons. If not even more, SpongeBob is just like a meme generation machine. Like it fucking it has like some of the most memes made from it than anything. Meme templates. Last falling into a dumpster, blah 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 blah. But they're Monty P. Moneyback. Man, they fucking these these cartoons love their fucking puns with these names, man. Just like Remy Bucks a Plenty from Fairly Odd Parents, the fucking rich kid Remy Bucks a Plenty. Monty P. Moneybags. He's looking for art to purchase for his new museum. Squidward shows off his own pieces to him, but Monty dislikes them all because they are all based on Squidward himself. Huh. Yeah, I guess I never thought about that. Yeah, I mean, Squidward definitely is a both self-hating but also a very narcissistic. All of his art is based off of his own self-portraits and shit. A SpongeBob masterpiece, Flynn takes credit for. While carrying the heavy statue to Monty's car, Squidward accidentally knocks off its head. Sure, Squidward that he should easily be able to make another one. He'll come back the next day to get it. Desperate, another masterpiece goes to the dump and convinced the depressed SpongeBob that he deserves another chance. Upon returning to art class, SpongeBob fortunately took Squidward's prior lessons to heart and fails to create another of a decent quality. When he tries to chisel another marble statue, it simply collapses into a pile of rubble. He begins smashing piles of marble, concludes that his art triumph was too much for Squidward to handle, and crashes through the wall. I don't know what the lesson of this was, besides just to be a kind of a dick to Squidward's. I guess that... You know what? This is an episode with a bad lesson, or at least I think one that you'd probably hate, Rudy, because it kind of is saying that, like, oh, look, SpongeBob is just, like, naturally talented, and Squidward, even though he seems to practice so much, he is shit at it. You know what? That's almost what I'm getting from the episode when I kind of see it. Besides possibly the more positive potential implication of, see, SpongeBob, he has the childlike creativity on his side and shit. But then Squidward, he has the like cynicism where it's making him bad at art because of that kind of shit. But yeah, when I think the more on the surface kind of thing I could read from that is that, see, art is a natural talent. SpongeBob has it. Squidward does not, kind of thing. So I think, you know what? I think that is a lesson that you probably would not be a quote unquote lesson. A takeaway would be not a thing that you would be very into, even though it is a funny episode. But yeah, it's kind of on that normie frequency of, see, there is talent more so than there is skill. Yeah, I never. That is weird. That was in season 2 as well. It's kind of a surprisingly kind of mean-spirited episode from SpongeBob from that early. Wow. Copyright 2001. Fucking 24 years ago. 24 fucking years ago. God damn, dude. Yeah, what other shit was in season 2? I know season 2 was not generally as good as season 1 overall, but season 2 had some good shit in it. Yeah, what the fuck? Wow, it's some weird fucking bullshit in season 2 already, but huh. Yeah, that's interesting that they had another episode in season 2 where SpongeBob was drawing like doodles and shit. I guess it was a pretty unique episode in that its theme and everything. Huh. Yeah, it's fucking weird, dude. SpongeBob is fucking weird. Well, it's sort of like my daughter understands shapes and light/shadow so easily, but she practices and I know she does. Yeah. No, I mean, like, obviously, it's not that there is no talent at all, like, natural talent or whatever, like, natural, the fuck is the term, like, a natural, ability or whatever you want to say, like, a natural ability in some people, to especially, like, be better than others or to catch things better than others for certain skills. But, just to suggest, like, SpongeBob, he's taking an art class, and he is fucking a million times better than Squidward, who has practiced like this shit his whole life. Just to like suggest that and then basically just shit all over the guy who has practiced his whole life, saying like, look how fucking terrible he is. And sure, Squidward is being a dick throughout the thing, so it's like, oh yeah, he's the asshole here, but still saying that he's like way worse than SpongeBob just for no real good reason is like, come on. But yeah, that is surprisingly. I know they shit on Squidward a lot in that show, but I'm surprised they did one that early where it was just like straight up, just like, yeah, fuck you, Squidward. Then again, I guess they did that a lot in that show. To be fair, that wasn't anything very new. Now, besides fucking around, I don't feel like using a new page. Well, maybe I do. Maybe I do. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel this urge to not start on a new piece of paper. I have no fucking reason. It's like one of these weird like uh what would you call it, like if I, as if I was somebody who's like didn't have food as a kid, so I don't like to waste food or some shit. For some reason I'm just like I don't like to waste paper even though I know it costs almost nothing. So like half the time I just don't start on a new page. I like to use the entire page. Ugh. I feel like keeping that one. Just because I am surprised how, yeah, I feel like keeping that one. I don't know where to keep it, but keep it somewhere. Maybe just take a picture of it because I liked how the shadowing came out. For whatever reason on that day, I was doing better. Alright. I'm probably gonna need to buy a new clipboard because, well, okay, probably not, but this thing doesn't hold the paper as nicely as I'd want it sometimes. I don't know why, but it's not bad. It's okay. I mean, what else do I want to draw? I mean, there's other things I want to draw, but what else do I feel like drawing right this moment? I guess I'll draw more fucking fucked up proportion humans. You know what? Maybe that's my strategy. Is once I get to the little tiny things like the arms and the legs, that's when I'll start using my fingers. And for the other parts, I'll use my either wrist or my elbow. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's usually two. I don't know what the hell you call it. Two ligament? Not no, that's not ligaments. Two. You got three joints or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Three joints, and then two sections, and then you have the hands on that last joint. And then for the legs, you got the same thing. You got three joints and then two sections and then the feet. Now getting those to be proportionally right is still pretty difficult, but yeah, it's definitely a lot easier to make these circles with using my wrist and fingers instead of my whole arm. I guess it shouldn't be that surprising. That neck always looks fucked up though, but it shouldn't be. No shit, it's just a circle. I guess I'll shade in this stupid hammer. I don't know why I like shading in this hammer every time. It's just there, so I'm just like, fuck it. I guess this is partially why, one of the reasons people like coloring books. Just kind of fun to just color in the shape. Color in the lines. I don't know when I'm gonna start trying to use colored pencils, but I think I want to get good with the just the black first. Just the basic black I want to get good with first before I start fucking with colors and stuff like that. Well, let's see. I went on longer than I thought I would with this drawing, so that's cool. Not sure if I actually had potentially particularly good practice, but you know, it's better than nothing. But I guess at this moment I don't have that much more to say, and I think I practiced long enough. Probably want to go to bed a little bit early tonight, but a little bit earlier tonight than usual, I guess. But yeah, I think I'll probably end the stream now. I did what I wanted to do. Colored pencils are tedious. Yeah, man, this fucking stream. I don't know if the audio is fucking delayed as shit too, but yeah, because that must be like a 2 minute delay. But either way, if the stream ends abruptly, that's why. But thanks for got to layer, and layer to make it look good. Yeah. So yeah, the fucking stream audio must be fucking delayed as shit too. But either way, yeah. All right, Rudy. Thank you for coming along and watching me draw and listening to my bullshit. And you have a good shift and take care, man. I'll see you later. Peace.